God, it takes ages, that, doesn't it? You've been waiting nearly 30 seconds now. This better be good. We don't like being kept waiting. Welcome back to Masters of None. In a response to last week's episode, which was what is in our wish list, we look at what we would never buy again. Gear that we've bought, played with, tried, and have rued the day we checked out. It's okay, we're over it. Also, we'll have our picks of the week. So welcome to episode 9, What We Would Never Buy Again. Did you hear the surprise? I'll be saying episode 9. I'm surprised we've even made it this far.
I was going to congratulate us on getting that far.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, you too. You too? Yeah, I love cheers.
I think it's time for the weekly update, and I think you've already answered it. How's the tooth?
Rubbish. I finished my antibiotics. The abscess is still there, but I thought, bugger it, I'm going to have a beer. So I've got some more antibiotics, which I'm starting tomorrow, and they're sorting it out on Monday. Yeah, so it should all be fixed by Monday. Sorting it out.
Is it what you told me?
Yeah, root canal and all sorts. I mean, I've got an hour-long appointment at the dentist on Monday.
No, that's never good.
I'm just going to ask him to knock me out and crack on.
No, that's awful. Well, welcome back to the stream. We are Masters of None. If you saw last week's stream, something apparently was coming home at that point. I think it's lost its way. I think possibly the bus broke down. Not too sure. Anyway,
I can't believe that was a week ago already. That was the most boring. Oh wait, no, the final was on Sunday, wasn't it? That's the one I'm thinking of. That was the most boring 2.5 hours of my life. God.
We talked about what we would add to our Amazon wish list. And that is going to be, I enjoyed that one. I think that we're going to do that possibly quarterly with updated stuff. Check in the links of the previous one. I think we'll put it in our future things as well, what our wish lists are that we'll add to. But yeah, so this week, in answer to that one, it is going to be what stuff we would not have in our wish list and actually wish we'd never bought. Circling, what word do I want to say? Don't know. Around video gear, photo gear, lights, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, welcome back. I hope that's okay. I just want to do a proper intro. Hi.
Yeah, that was better than the one you pre-recorded, to be honest. To be honest, I think those pre-recorded intros are getting better. So yeah, next week maybe we should upload the first one and just have a giggle back at it. I think that would be funny.
I'll cut off the 30 seconds at the beginning.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Right. I feel vastly unprepared for this stream, just letting you know. I've got a couple of ideas in my head, things that I wish I'd never bought.
All right.
No, I think you should start because then it might give me an idea of where this is heading.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, my first thing is something that we touched on last week, and that is SD cards not fit for purpose. Quite simply, actually, I looked at what I had. Can you make out what? Hello. It's my turn to have problems with autofocus, isn't it?
Yeah. Should buy a proper camera, mate. You don't want any of these Sony APS-C bollocks.
Someone introduced me to the Sony APS-C line, and that's what I'm using. Sony A6300. What do we regret buying? An A6300. What's happening with that?
Don't know. Looks broken to me.
I'm going to turn it off and on again.
All right.
This is entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. This is cracking there. Yeah, you are still there, yeah.
There we go.
Whoa, you look different. Your exposure's changed massively. That's annoying. That's really annoying. That must be really annoying for you.
Is it? Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, that must be really dull.
Anyway, SD cards. SD cards. The SD card that you had a problem with last week or the week before when we were shooting pictures was I had the Extreme, the SanDisk Extreme. I've since picked up 64 gig, same SanDisk Extreme. I don't know if it's an age thing and I don't know if it's an update or whatever, but This SanDisk Extreme, if you could only see it, and put my A7 III back on, this is a 90 megabytes a second write speed, whereas this, exactly the same name, is 100 megabytes write speed. So my first thing that I would never buy again is any SD card under a write speed of 100 megabytes a second. Now, obviously, this is going to be dating because the bigger your file size, the quicker you're going to need it to write.
Sorry, I'm having damages back here. 1 second.
Sounds like you've broken something.
I'm trying to prepare for my one. Just wait a second. Keep stalling. Stall a bit longer.
The bigger the file size, the faster you're going to need it to write to. But right now, 4K and shooting on the A7 III, which is 24 megapixels, I would not have any SD card with a write speed less than 150 megabytes a second. Now, if you have an A7R, that's up to like 40 odd megapixels, you're going to want to go even higher. There are SD cards that write 300 megabytes a second and all that. Most importantly, and to kind of circle back to an actual point, I would never buy an SD card that had a slow write speed anymore, purely because of how frustrating it can be. So yeah, SD cards, making sure they are fit for purpose. Don't just chuck any SD card that fits into your camera and expect it to work. That's my first thing. Before you reveal yourself, I've got to say, boys and girls, you're in for a treat. I'm going to hand over to Chris for his first one. In that time, I'm going to go off and try and figure out what my camera's doing. Christoph, what are you wearing?
I am wearing a Steadicam vest and fly cam. Yeah, it's a monstrosity. It's quite expensive. I'm going to come a little bit closer. It costs quite a lot of money, and the reason I bought it was because I was working on a video project, which was going to be a one take shoot, and I thought, I've seen some amazing videos of people mounting gimbals on the top of here. So this is on an armlet; it bounces. Whee! And I've seen some amazing videos of people using a motorized gimbal on top of one of these arms, and I thought, this is great. I need one of these for this shoot. And also, it saves your back, or it's supposed to save your back, and I've got a bad back. And the first time I put it on, it hurt my back so much I can't even describe. All right. No, that looks awful now. I mean, the picture's not bad, but your quality's gone down the toilet. So I bought one of these, and I've never used it. I've never used it in a professional manner ever. That's it, really. So it's about 600 quid's worth of Steadicam vest, which just lives in a cupboard, basically. This is chaotic today, isn't it?
I know. I'm not liking this. I'm glad this isn't our first ever stream, because I've never.
I think we should start again.
What I want to know is, and you can see I'm not ready for to come on the stream, but what I want to know.
Yeah.
Well, what I would you're clearly not going to say it, so I will say it. He actually got that for the music video to a song that went to #1 in the rock charts, and that was Cardinal Black. What was the song? Tell me how it feels, baby. He is it Tom?
Yeah.
Oh my God, his voice. I swear to God, his voice is like liquid velvet. But if you haven't seen the video, after this stream, go and have a look at it. It's absolutely brilliant. And I can't believe that you rocked up with the gear that you had there. I'm holding my A7 III because it's literally about to replace the A6300 in this. But you worked out that.
Fine now, by the way. Just
say again. You
look fine now. I wouldn't bother changing. Just.
Oh, I won't bother then. Are you just telling me so I can't? So I'm not going to do anything.
No.
Oh, look how artistically my Weeble S is now lit up. It looks good. That
stunning.
Looks like it's going to attack me. But yeah, I can't believe you did that on the. Did you do that on the Ronin? Your Ronin SC had just died, or was that another shoot?
Yeah, I used the Crane 2, which I hadn't used in about 2 years.
It was just
But that was supposed to make my life so much easier, and all it did was complicate everything. Like the video wouldn't have been anywhere near as good if I'd have ended up using it, because I wasn't used to it, and I'm still not used to it because I've not played with it enough. So
well, I remember you and I talking about it the day before you went to that shoot, and you're like, "Oh, I've got this to play with. I've got it to play with, and I'm gonna have great fun with this." And I was like, "Oh dear God, what is that guy doing?" But yeah, I'm gutted for you that it didn't work. I really am.
Yeah, me too. It was sad. Anyway,
by the way, just in case you want to know.
Side by side. Liquid Velvet, everybody.
It is, though, isn't it? I'm going to go to my favorite bit in this video. This is all shot by our very own Christoph. Hold on, are we going to get a copyright strike on this?
Nah, don't worry. I'll talk to Chris. He might let us use it.
I've worked with Chris Buck. Chris Buck, the lead guitarist, who is... There he is. That's Chris's mate. He's mentioned him before. He's actually been on the stream and commented, so he won't be watching. But hello, Chris, if you ever watch this. But my favorite bit, you can tell, this is all a one take. I know, sorry, we're going a little bit off script, but that's kind of what we do. This is all one take, but you can tell that it's one take with a massive amount of rehearsal, because you don't just... There are so many happy accidents that happen with filming, but not as good as this. Watch this.
All right,
honestly, I feel honored. You know how much I appreciate our friendship anyway, but I feel honored. I've never said this to you. What, sorry?
Nothing, mate. You carry on, crack on.
I'm going to catch up and find out what you just said. Honestly, I feel so honored that I was pretty much one of the first people, other than that guy who edited it, to see that, even the raw cut. Yeah. Oh my God. I remember loading it up onto my 4K TV and just going, I say 58 inch in the living room. And oh God. But in that, and trying to circle back to what we're talking about, that monstrosity that you were just wearing, now in hindsight, had you been a master of it, which you clearly weren't, would it have got in your way, or would it have enabled you to do better? And have you thought about this since?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. I don't know whether I don't know whether I don't know whether I'm too fat for it. That might be one of the biggest problems with it. I don't know whether I've got the supports in the right place on my body to help my back. And there's no documentation that comes with it. And there's no one online telling you how to put the vest on. I searched YouTube for hours looking. There's much more expensive vests, but there's not the one I've got. If I'd have been a master of it, then I probably would have been less fatigued. Because that was the 14th take that we'd done. And the track's 5 minutes long. So it's a lot of running around. So I think my back would have probably not hurt as much, which meant I could put more into it. But at the same time, when I did have it working, like when I had the gimbal mounted to the top, I had all the counted weights, it still didn't work how I was expecting it to. And there's lots of people on YouTube singing that's praises with a gimbal on the top of it. So I don't know whether they're lying or whether they're exaggerating. I've seen a lot of people set that up and the footage doesn't look as good as a handheld gimbal.
What's the mate?
Flycam make it.
So that's an official Flycam.
Yeah.
And there's no documentation. There's that's
there's
a surprise.
There's a Chinglish manual.
Chinglish. I think you and I have had enough products that are written in Chinglish, which are it's actually quite funny, to be honest. Who are we to mock anyone trying to write in foreign language? But if you're going to try
rubbish at speaking Chinese,
well, speak for yourself. But the thing is that no, I'm joking. You'd properly prep it for mass production, really, wouldn't you? You really would. And there's so many companies who it would seem rush so much to production and market that they overlook those kind of things. It's really quite frustrating. I was going to say something there with regards to that. Sorry, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, should we address some of our comments? We've got some comments. I thought.
Oh, have we? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Absolutely... I like this one. That's good. I thought that might make you choke on your beer. Yeah, very good. I like that a lot. There's a great picture of me wearing that thing in the mirror in my house. And it looks the dog's bollocks. It looks great.
I think you sent that to me on WhatsApp about moments before you put it on the group, which was hilarious. By the way, if you're watching in the Chris Watkins Media group, and if you're not in there, why aren't you? Make sure you head over to Chris's channel and find it, because it's great. It's a great space to be. If you're commenting from that group, you want to come up as Facebook user because it's a private group. So if you do want to be known, jump over to Chris's channel and comment on there. But yeah, I remember seeing
in the group in a minute, so that's fine.
Okay, cracking.
We resolved that problem moments before the stream started. Not a problem. Freddie, do you know who Freddie is?
Freddie, no, I don't. Use those SD. Okay, Freddie. So here's one for you. I need you to grab your Canon. Firstly, I need you to tell me what you've got. Whether it's whether it's an APS-C, whether it's a crop body or a full frame, whether it's a 5D et al. Or if it's 70D, 80D, and I need you to let me know if it's a SanDisk Extreme 90 megabytes or a SanDisk Extreme 150 megabytes. I don't know if you cottoned onto this while you were literally drawing getting yourself up as Iron Man. Have you got an Extreme there? What does it say?
150. That helps me in no way.
I'm not doing this again. This is a SanDisk Extreme, and it literally is a 90 megabytes. So that must be one of the first SD cards I ever bought, because everything else is the same. It's a class 10. It's the 3 in the U, whatever that means. SDXC V30i, and yet it's a 90 megabytes rather than 150.
Interesting.
Chris says interesting, by the way. If you're new to the stream, Chris says interesting. As much when he's not interested as when he is. So it's really hard to gauge that. I think that one was a less interested than what he's trying to say. Moving
on. Matt saying that have antibiotics with alcohol's fine. So I might start now. Don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. O'Neill is in the room. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, Sophie.
Saying hello. Freddie saying cheers. And we've also got the distance, which is Matt and Sophie combined. So
Matt joined us in the stream after to have a right good chat and a bit of a tech support for him. Yeah, go for it. I'd love to know.
Trod on me steady cam.
Well, it's not going to make it any worse for you, is it? Yeah, Matt, it was lovely to have a chat with you. We don't often invite viewers back, but Matt is a very good mate of Chris's. And it was lovely to have a chat with you. I'd love to know if you've got the issues you had sorted with the lavalier mic. That'd be great to know. But yeah, really enjoyed that chat. I'm going to move on to my second.
Go for it. I'm moving on to my second.
Oh,
beer.
Mine nearly empty. I'm gonna oh, by the way, I'm currently, you can't quite see it, but I'm currently at the inverted cold crashing stage of my pinter. If you haven't seen it, have a look on my channel for pinter reviews and brew me own beer, and it's cracking. I'm gonna have my own beer next week. So my second is but you know how much I love Neewer products. I use a lot of Neewer products. In fact, I think the softbox that you gave me was Neewer, and Neewer make great stuff, but they also like many other companies, make guff as well. And this is a Neewer tripod head. And I don't know why I bought it. In fact, I'm almost certain that this actually came from an in-house job and it found its way into my camera bag, because I can't imagine ever wanting to buy it. And so this product that I'm trying to highlight with this is something that's not actually fit for purpose. I use ball heads. I don't know about you. I'm not a big fan of the pack. You talk and I'll try and do like ventriloquism. That'd be hilarious. My name is Chris and I am amazing. Look at me. I only use ball heads because I hate, although I thought I'd love it, I hate the panning shot. It's one for me that is, it's just, I don't like it. It reminds me of Judith Chalmers' travelogues and all that kind of stuff. So I try and stay away from a pan. I much prefer to do almost like a move with a pan. So I normally go with ball heads. So something like this is not fit for purpose. Not only that, but it says it can go vertical, but it actually doesn't go past there. It doesn't go past. That's not vertical, Chris. That's not vertical. Do you know what I mean? So if you want to go into portrait and take a portrait shot on a tripod, that's not vertical. So again, I would say for this is a product that I would say a head that's not fit for purpose. Do not cheap out with. I mean, you have been talking about this during the week. Actually, it's tripods and what's that word for the collection of it all? Support hardware for your camera that is not fit for purpose. I would not buy this again, and I wouldn't buy similar products to this, because someone put it in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, and someone commented, someone put up a post saying, I'd love your suggestions for a decent tripod under $100. And he got absolutely ripped. And I get their point, because that's a £2,000 camera right there, Chris. Granted, it's a budget lens, although a good one. It's the Samyang 18mm. Check out on my channel, did a review, very good. But all in all, that's the best part of like 2,300 quid, brand new. And you want to put that on a $100 tripod. You're only asking for trouble, aren't you?
Can I tell you a story?
If you're going to tell a story about the fact that I'm still a professional videographer, and up until last week I was running a full company on just 2 SD cards, and yet I still use an Amazon Basics tripod, then no.
It's not that.
Cracking, go for it.
I need a prop.
Oh, I love props. I'm in my shorts. Can you tell? It's quite warm. Oh, God, both of us went off stream at the same time. That's really professional. We're going to lose so many viewers. By the way, let us know in the comments if you've watched any of these streams before, or if this is your first time. If this is your first time, are you ever going to come back? Oh, I love Manfrotto stuff.
Are you familiar with this tripod?
It's something like is Junior in the title.
Is there? I don't know. I think I've got 4 of these just because they're handy, they're small. They take my camera. They're fine. And the day I bought my original A7S, I paid £2,000 for my original A7S. And I mean, that's how new I got it. It was a long time ago. And I went to London with my mate to do some just like testing of it. We just went to.
Have you had a mate before me and you met?
Not as good as you.
Is the right answer. As you were.
We went to, well, maybe I shouldn't say that with the story that's about to come up. So we were in London, and the only lens I think I had that went on it was a manual 50mm 1.8. This is right back when I first started doing videography. And I was a bit like, oh, what am I going to do with this? Don't know what to do. We've driven all the way to London to shoot stuff. I don't know what to do. And he said, oh, I've just had this arrive in the post. And he gave me a 70-200 2.8 Canon. with a Metabones adapter, which I then attached to my Sony A7S.
How was the sorry, interjecting.
Bad.
What was
Really
my question going to be?
How was the Metabones adapter autofocusing? Probably
as you were once more.
Really bad. So I was quite happily messing around with this lens. I think he paid over £2,000 for the lens. So I had £4,000 worth of kit, and I was using one of these, which cost £56 from Curry's. And I don't know if you're familiar, but the plate at the top, you have to get it quite at the right angle for it to slide in. And on one particular shot, I didn't quite get it on the right angle, and then I let go of it, and the camera and the lens smashed on the pavement. Felt really bad for a really long time. My camera had loads of dents and scuffs in it, but like still worked all right. Well, did it? Did I smash the screen? I might have smashed the screen. It was the very day I got it. And his lens had scuffs all over it, and I damaged the lens hood. I felt horrendous. For like a year, I felt so bad.
But you know what? It's not just the quality of the product. And I know that's kind of negating everything that I've just said so far, but it's not just the quality of the product, because it's also, like you just said there, a lot of it can be user error. Even if you're using like a £1,000 tripod from Manfrotto, if you don't use it right, if you haven't locked it down right, there's a whole world of problems. You got my A7 III 2 weeks ago when you were up here. If you haven't seen that one, that was so much fun. And you went, what? That's not. And you went, that's annoying. You know how Chris Watkins can only say, that's annoying. Say it.
That's annoying.
Exactly. And the reason for that is because the quick release plate, which I'd just taken off the bottom of it from the Weeble S, goes on in a certain way. You've got to feed in, not having a good time here. Can you see the two little holes there? You've got to feed them in and then lock it down. And you can screw it in with the release plate, with the release knob on the front. And I thought I'd done that. I was at a client shoot, a client that we don't have anymore because he was an idiot. Yeah, anyway, we won't talk about him because I don't like him. But I thought it was one of the first shoots that we did. And I thought, I'm going to go into vertigo mode. You know, the Inception mode in there. And then you start turning your camera. And your camera is literally turning around there. And it turns for as many times as you like, as long as you hold down the thing. Problem is, if the quick release plate isn't on properly, which it wasn't, it doesn't turn as many times as you like, Christoph. It turns until it gets nearly to there. And then it kind of hits the deck and comes off. And bangs. And then you can't close the door to your SD cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Don't get cheap stuff, but also don't use it stupid as well.
Yeah. Shall I... Is it my turn next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stay with the theme of gimbals.
Okay.
I've just dropped something else. 1 second.
It would be better if he actually prepared for this, wouldn't it? It'd be really nice.
Prepared, kind of.
Had he not? You had bath time with George, didn't you?
I did have bath time with George, and that's never happening again before a stream because it was a nightmare.
Oh, don't do that to George. You should stream from the bath. Chris,
wouldn't be pretty. It would not be pretty.
Don't talk about George like that. He's beautiful. Chris.
Yeah.
I've never owned a DJI gimbal, but I'm sure there's a locking mechanism there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Now it's locked. But if you push that button, you can spin it. And it's really nice. So, your mic isn't muted, by the way, mate. So what I want to talk about this gimbal. I've owned lots of gimbals in the past. I've had the DJI Ronin M. I've had the Zion Crane version 1, the Zion Crane version 1.2, the Zion Crane 2, And then my mate, the same mate who lent me the 70 to 200, which I dropped on the floor, got the Ronin S. And I was like, oh, I like the look of that. If only it were a little bit smaller. And then this came out, the Ronin SC. Is it going to focus? There we go. It's kind of in focus. And this is probably the best gimbal I've ever used. So you're probably asking, why is it in this list? Well, the simple answer, just bear with me. There we go. The simple answer is about a week after the warranty ran out. The look, it won't stay up anymore. It has trouble erecting. The motor's gone in it, but there's no warranty. So the only thing I can do is send it back to DJI, who want to charge me a fortune to fix it. So
how soon after the warranty went?
A week.
Would you not have thought of just reaching out to them and saying
I have.
Used it?
They said I had to send it to them in China to have it fixed. I was
Oh
like,
my!
I can't be bothered. I know that's probably quite lazy, but I just couldn't be bothered with the faff. It's not an expensive gimbal either, but it does a very well. It does. It's good.
In comparison, and I've never used the SC, and I don't think you've ever used the Weebill S.
No.
But I remember you and I were on a. By the way, if you're brand new to this, this is why we do the streams, because for the past year we have literally just got drunk on Zooms, and we said, Chris went, "Oh, you should stream this," so that's why we're here. But Chris and I were chatting on a late night Zoom, and I had. Over here, I have a worktop that I put down temporarily when I'm doing like getting gear together, or I'm using my my product photography bit. And I leant back. I'll mute you. I leant back and hit my Weebill S, which was on the temporary worktop, and that hit the deck. And I think Chris will vouch for me that I literally. I saw my backside for about the best part of 30 seconds, 60 seconds, didn't I? I wasn't too happy, but I'm happy to say that actually nothing broke on it at all. I thought that one of the locks on I think the roll axis lock I thought was broken. It's absolutely fine. Works absolutely a trick. So yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Harking back to what you were saying about getting fatigued. I get exactly what you mean by why you wanted the vest, because you didn't want to get fatigued. I was doing, I've just done our first music video, and there was a shot where I had the Weebill S on the only Manfrotto thing I can afford, the monopod, and I literally had it, Chris, you'd have been proud. I literally had it at full stretch. And you're 12 years old, Chris.
Oh, no, you're 12 years old. I was thinking, Christ, that's dangerous.
Okay.
You're thinking, right. No, it looks like a big willy. No, that's not what I was thinking at all.
Why do you think I've got it fully extended, son?
Yeah, you need all the help you can get, I bet.
Mate, why do you think I've got a 58-inch TV? And an S-Max.
You've seen my monitor?
But that was at full stretch. And I was doing a top-down full stretch with the Weebill S and the A7 III on it with the transmission module, so I could monitor it on my phone. A lot of weight on there, total top heavy, top down. I was doing a slow reveal out of the face of the guy who was singing, and we must have done we only did about 3 or 4 takes, and it was good. It's come out really, really well. You've seen it looks nice, but I was exhausted. My arms were killing after that.
You know what? I was going to ask you how you did that shot, because I thought that image looks way too good to be a drone. But I forgot to ask you. So I know which shot you're on about, and it looks really good.
And actually, I spent the best part of about 2 or 3 hours before we went to that shoot trying to get the transmission module to work. Because when it does work, it works brilliantly. But it's such an absolute pain. I went through 3 different phones trying to work it, And that's a really good. Sorry, Matt. I know you've asked a couple of questions. How do you monitor a shot like that? The amount of times that this was the first shoot that I went to that I hadn't done what I normally do, and what I normally do with the camera on a gimbal is I hit and hope. I don't know about you, Chris, but quite often I just hit and hope. I know if I've got an 18mm on there, I'm shooting at 4K and my output is 1080, I know I've got some room to move. So I'll get it somewhere around, and then everyone will wait around while I go back and play back and check if it was at least somewhere in the frame and in focus, which I've got my eye into the EVF because you've got to, because the monitors on the back are absolutely awful. But to check it. But the way I did it this time was I used the transmission module. So it's the little doings that goes on the bottom, which adds to the weight because it adds to the balancing crazily. But that goes in there, and it goes underneath. You've got the multi. Oh, by the way, I can trigger record and stop record on my my gimbal now. I know you were talking about. Have you released? You haven't done that video yet, have you?
I was about to mention it. I've been sat here with it on my lap.
Oh, mate. So I'm actually able to do it now. They've finally come with a fix. Well, they may have done it the week after. I got bored. So that goes into the multi of the camera. That goes into the HDMI out. And this little doings pushes it out through Wi-Fi. You connect it to your phone. And sorry, I've got all my toys here. I know I'm kind of running roughshod. It's somewhere. There's a holder which then goes on the side of the gimbal. But if you're off, what you do is you get a wife that holds the phone close to you, and you're monitoring it. So you're literally monitoring it completely wirelessly, and the lag's really, really good. In fact, in as much as there's not that much lag. But yeah, that's how you monitor a shot like that. And just
I do it slightly differently if you're interested.
Yeah, how do you monitor?
I've tried a few different ways. I've got the Hollyland Mars 400S, which works really well. That's a wireless video transmission system, which one end goes on the gimbal side, one end goes to a field monitor side, and then somebody else monitors it, basically. And I've also got the CineEye. Is it called the CineEye? Axune CineEye. That thing is great because you plug it onto the camera side, and then you can connect to it with up to 4 devices, I think. So you connect to it with your phone, with your iPad, all sorts of things like that. And I always shoot with a second shooter, so she's monitoring what I'm filming and telling me whether I'm doing a good job or not. And whilst I still have the floor, I'm going to talk to you about a gimbal that I would recommend you buy because I'm bored of holding it. This is the Moser Aircross 2S. And I've had it for about 2 weeks. I've used it on one professional shoot, and it has absolutely revolutionized the way that I shoot video, and I love it. I haven't even told Adam about this, but this gimbal is so impressive. Some of these like Chinese manufacturers who make gimbals, they're all a bit hit and miss. And when I unboxed this and started using it, I was like, wow. They have hit the nail on the head with this one. There will be a video review coming out soon about this.
And that's from Moser.
This is from Moser. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Is there stuff that you haven't told me that because if you're friends with Chris Watkins and you're into this kind of stuff, or maybe it's just me, you get video calls all the time, or you get videos being sent to you on WhatsApp going, look at this feature, look at this feature. I think I'm probably your only mate because you're my only mate who I can send videos to who would actually appreciate it. So I am actually
pity you, so I send you all of the rejects.
Watch this space in September. I might actually be getting treated to some of these toys. Just on the subject of wireless transmissions, you said the Axune CineEye. There was a company that brought out a competitor, and it was Benbox. And I think that's actually made by, is it Andy Cine?
I
think it is, who make the field monitors, really good. Yeah, quite color correct field monitors as well. Yeah. This is garbage. It's awful. You can't trigger anything, although it says you can. The lag is, let's put it this way, the lag is longer than you going and getting another beer and coming back and being back in shot. It's awful. So much so I didn't even script a video for it. I just literally sat down in front of a camera and slagged it off. Have a look on my channel if you want to watch that, because it's literally, I spent so much time trying to set it up and going, right, okay, I'll have an overhead shot, get the light and all that, and trying to play with it. I was like, yeah, this is just guff. So yeah, be very, very careful if you're going for wireless systems, which one you choose.
Yeah.
Who's goes?
The Ensue Cine is very good.
Yeah, you said that to me before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's your go. Your go.
Oh,
that was all stemmed off of my gimbal being broken.
Are you over it yet?
Oh yeah, I don't care. I'm not buying another one.
Let me just go through some of these while we're at this point. Reveal your age, name drop, Chalmers. Well, you say that, Matt, but I quite like a lot of the old school stuff. So, you know, Sinatra and all that kind of thing. So I am very, very young. I don't look 26, to be fair. So do you want a sofa to sleep on in September?
I'll sleep on the floor.
You bloody will. And also, Matt's hogging this. I'm loving this. You two, thank you so much for all your help. I'm still looking into it, but I suspect the power bank thing might. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was a thing with lavalier mics and going into a phone, and how there was an RF. It wasn't an RF loop. It was like a mains hum. But please keep us posted on that. No one else is interested because they don't know the backstory, but we really, really are. Okay, on to my next one. And that is cheap lighting. And I have an example of it other than my prop. And that is, it's actually a product I've just been sent to review. And I thought, oh, I'll use it in this. And it's not very good. So.
Wait, did yours arrive today as well?
Yeah, did yours?
Yeah, mine arrived. Yeah, there's a massive problem with it already.
Yeah,
I'll leave you to it.
I think you've got a better product than me, though. But this is what you get from a cheap ring light. And I honestly think I'm going to write to them and say, yeah, it's not very good. So this is a cheap ring light just off screen. And it gives out very, very, very little light. And the light that it does give out isn't necessarily the best quality light. I know Chris doesn't really like the look of a ring light, so I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to stay here for about 5 seconds so we can see the catch light of a ring light in my eyes. And then we're going to go back to cob light. So I would say the most important thing with regards to your lighting is quality lighting. You can't cheap out. And with that in mind, I would stay away. If you're looking for your first setup of lighting because you want a dedicated space, until you can afford a cob light with, and not just an expensive cob light, I mean just any cob light. Use the SL60W from Godox right behind him. As long as you can afford a cob light with a decent modifier, look how beautiful he looks. Not as beautiful as you think he looks. But until you can afford a decent light, just use daylight. Because if you cheap out and you get, I mean, this is by GVM. They're good lights. They're good for what they do. But the minute that you go for the likes of a good quality cob light, which is up here with a diffuser that a friend of mine gave. Thanks, Chris. Because my diffuser's stupidly big and it wouldn't go in that corner. Yeah, until you can afford decent lighting, don't buy any lighting, because you will rue the day that you bought those LED panels. They do nothing, do they, really? No.
And whilst we're on the subject, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
He's going again, isn't he? This is the thing. He trips up. I can't wait to go down into his shed. It's not a euphemism, because I know he's got so many toys all around. Chris and I first met just over a year ago, and the first time we ever met was 2 weeks ago, and he saw my space. So I have never been in that space, and I can't wait to. Oh, is that Falcon Eyes?
No, this is Viltrox, actually.
Okay.
So when
that's a ready diffused LED panel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought these were the dog's bollocks. I thought they were great. So I bought another one. And then I thought they were so good that I bought another one. They were 40 quid a pop.
Can I ask?
Hey! I've been looking for this hoodie for ages. It's in here. Oh, that's made my night, that has.
Hey, I did the same about half an hour ago.
I love this hoodie. I was asking Rachel where it was. It's in there. Hold on, let me put those back.
When you're on a job, quite often you've literally just got to go as quick as you can. More so for Chris because he does a lot of weddings, and things just get stuffed in places. So I'm loving that because the amount of stuff that I find that I've lost and I haven't unpacked the gear. That's brilliant. With those panels, you said you bought another one and another one because you thought they were good. Had you used Coblight before you bought those?
No.
Right. So that falls into what I'm saying, doesn't it? Really.
I cheaped out for such a long time buying lights that cost £50 or £60. And then as soon as I went over that £100 mark and bought my first Coblight, I was just like, oh, why have I wasted all that money for all that time when I could have just spent 150 quid and got something that looks like that?
For those who don't really know what we're referring to, it's COB LED. That's what they're called. And where the light is coming from, this is a little bit more than the price tag that Chris was talking about, but where the light is actually coming from, rather than a cluster of LEDs, which this is bicolor, which means that it's 480. So half of 480, 240. Thank you very much. Fast maths. 240 of those will be 2400 maybe, 2400 Kelvin, and the other half, the other 240 will be around 6,500 Kelvin, and then they mix together to get the temperature that you want. All
and
that
they look shit.
Oh, mate, absolutely. However, in comparison, a Coblight is an LED chip, and all the light literally comes from there. Now, you would assume that, well, hold on, the size difference, there's going to be so much more light coming from this. But actually, if you think about water going through a garden hose, if you just leave the garden hose, it just comes out. But if you concentrate that and pinch the end, it fires through. I think I'm right in what I'm saying here. But if you pinch the end of the garden hose, it fires through. You concentrate all that power and all that light to that one small little chip. And oh my God, the output is amazing. And because it's so much smaller, the quality can be kept. And the minute you put some kind of diffuser on it, like what Chris has behind him, it really just, the colors, the light quality is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It really makes a massive difference. It's indescribable the difference that it makes when you use a Coblight and a diffuser instead of an LED panel.
Don't show that. There's a phone number on there.
Oh yeah, okay. So Chris Bright, am I reading the comment? I haven't read it yet.
Chris.
Hey Chris, can I hear from you tomorrow? I have an idea. If it's not to defer, I don't know what that means.
If it's not to defer.
Your phone number looks very suspect, Chris. It doesn't look like it's from England. Message me on Facebook, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, if it's to review really high quality products, we're both here. Hi there. Hi. I have 6,000 less subscribers than him, but
just keep talking to me. It's fine. We'll make something work. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. There we go. You can see who's the most professional out of the two of us.
You're next.
Wait, we've got a comment from Matt as well.
Sorry.
Trusty old Matt. So would you be happy with the GVM for little bits of spot color like the blue on the side of Chris's bonds. Do you want to know what the blue is?
Yeah, come on.
The blue. Oh, I haven't got
Hold
enough
on.
lead.
Hold on. Let me check if I remember listening to you. That's Philips Hue, isn't it?
It is. Alexa, turn PC light pink. That is the worst pink I've ever seen in my life. Alexa, turn PC light purple. Better. So yeah, that's the light I use just so I can get loads of different colors on the side of my face. But yeah, something like an LED panel like the GVM that Adam was talking about would be amazing for this kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that one's bicolor. So in contrast, if I can I show you up there? The pink that's actually coming onto my shoulder is actually a Godox. Is it Godox? Might be Niwa. Don't know. Yeah, but it's an RGB LED panel that just sits up there and shoots down to here. I was in a bit of a rush setting up, so I don't even think I'm getting any spill. Oh, a little bit on my shoulder. Can you see it? So that's coming from there. But what I've done is I've set the color. I hate this. I've set the color to the same color as the what are they called? I always call them incidentals. Practical. The practical over there, which is shooting up on there. So when I turn around here, it's a little thing, but it makes it look like the light is coming from over there. So it kind of pulls the background, it complements the background into the foreground. But actually that's coming from a completely different light, which is exactly, Matt, one of those cheaper RGB LED panels. So yeah, using it for spot color, accent, hair light, rim light, anything like that. They are perfect for that. Problem is when you're using a cob light, you need to get it really, really close, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, or buy a really expensive one.
But then, once you then bring in that kind of expense, would you then go for a cob light and put a gel over it?
No.
Would you not put a color gel over a cob light? No?
I don't understand what the question is.
Well, if you're saying you get a really expensive LED panel because you need
No. Sorry, no. I thought you were asking me if I was putting a cob light further away, like how Matt might want to use it, you'd buy an expensive, more powerful one which could fill the space.
Oh, got you.
If I was buying a more expensive, what was the question that you said?
If you want that color in, but you need to get it closer, and you can't get it closer without getting in shot, and therefore you need to get a much more expensive LED panel to get that color, would you not then look to getting a cob light that you could just gel if you need to?
I'd look to get a stage light like I've got in the roof of the shed, which costs 30 quid.
Parcan.
Yeah, Parcan. LED Parcan. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Plug it into the mains, bright as anything, works a treat. That's what I'd use.
When I was first in uni, I did technical theatre, and the Parcans that we used actually used the tungsten lamps, because there's lamps and lanterns, and the actual lamp that was in there, it was huge. It was that big, and you had one color, and any other color you wanted, you had to gel in. Whereas the LED Parcans, they give so much light, more than even a cluster of that kind of amount of LEDs. In a Parcan, I don't know why, but I think they may use some kind of Fresnel. So it's a series of lenses which will then intensify the light. And yeah, that's a good shout. That's a really, really good shout. A Parcan, LED Parcan. Mm.
Yeah. All right. Is it my turn?
Yeah, last one.
I don't know if I've run out. I might have run out.
Really?
I mean, there's other things that I regret buying.
You bought crap.
No, I don't. Name something I've bought that's crap.
No, actually, you've been sent a lot of crap.
That's true. But what have I regretted buying? I'm just looking around to see. Not much. I mean, I use a lot of the stuff that I own.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, I regret. The only thing I ever regret and has cost me money is I love my little Sony APS-C cameras, and every time I think, oh, there's something newer or better out there. It cost me money and I regret it. So I bought the FS5. I hated it. I sold it. I bought the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, longest name in the world. I hated it. I sold it. I bought the Fujifilm X-T3 because I thought it was the next best thing. And I didn't hate it, but I never used it. So I sold it. Like they're the things that cost me money.
Yeah, I get that. It's investment in quality stuff that just doesn't live up to the hype. And I think if I'm to take anything away from this, I would say it's you get the old adage of false economy. You buy cheap, you buy twice. With video equipment, video and photo equipment generally, if it seems too good to be true, if it seems like an absolute bargain for what a manufacturer is promising, it probably is too good to be true. It probably is going to be not necessarily defective, but deficient in what it should be and what it's promising to be. And that doesn't necessarily always go for a brand. Brands will get stuff wrong. Neewer got that wrong. Do you know what I mean? Andy Cine got the Ben box wrong. It's awful. I can't seriously. Still such a waste of an afternoon. So don't necessarily go on brands, but I would definitely go on reviews. But don't always go on Amazon reviews either, because so many reviewers are just paid to say it. And don't be afraid to return something if it doesn't live up to your expectations. I think that's one of the most important things. Because if a manufacturer gets enough open boxes back and they're losing that way, they may then stop turning out guff. That makes sense?
What's the worst product you've ever been sent? Is it the bed box?
No, it's actually I think I actually binned it. It was that webcam. Do you remember the awful webcam with a built-in LED? I can't remember what they're called. Pocolocos. Oh, hold on. I labeled it in OBS. What was it called? Papalook. It was the Papalook webcam. It has a built-in ring light, which you wouldn't have liked anyway. I was absolutely awful. I just replied to him and just went, listen, you're wasting my time here, because it was god awful, and it just went in the bin. I bet you've been sent some absolute diamonds.
Yeah, there's one story that comes to mind. Let's see if I've still got it.
See, if this was a professional stream, it'd be really good. Do you know what I mean? I think we get some really good traction. By the way, if you have enjoyed this, if you are into this thing, and if any of your friends are into this thing, please consider sharing it over to them as well, because we'd love to get more and more people in here. That you promised to send me that, and I think there's a reason why you haven't so far.
You don't want it.
Who's it by?
Boya.
So it's a wireless microphone system that plugs into a mobile device?
Yeah. So I really like Boya. I've worked with Boya loads and loads of times. I've made product reviews about pretty much everything they make. But they seem to be going downhill a little bit. So they sent me these, and they sent me a shotgun microphone, both of which were absolutely awful. They both worked. They worked fine, but the audio quality coming out of these just sucks. And it's like, you can tell that people are rushing products out to try and compete with the competition, but don't release a product that absolutely sucks and then send it to somebody to review. It's crap. It's the biggest bunch of crap I've ever used in my life. This is not getting monetized because I've sworn a lot in this video. I apologize, but
do you know
nobody watches anyway.
But do you know that actually I'm gonna have to go back and set my monetization things. It's not made for kids. There's any foul language. I'm gonna have to change that. Do you not find that a lot of them are going down the route of Amstrad? I don't know if you know the background of Amstrad, but it's Alan Sugar's company, all the way through the 80s, 70s and 80s, I think. And his most important thing was get to market first. And that's what he did. It was get to market first. It was get to market first with the fax machine, with the email phone, so a home phone that you could actually email. And I realize I'm actually acting this out, but it was literally a landline that you could write an email on. And they just wanted to get to market first, so people would buy while there was the hype. But there's a reason why Amstrad didn't continue. And it wasn't just because of that ethos. It was because what they were churning out was shit. I'm just going to do it because we're not getting monetized anyway.
Fuck
but
it.
But do you understand what I mean? And I think there are more and more Amstrads these days than there ever was.
But these guys, all these, I'm going to say it, Chinese manufacturers, they're not first. They're copying somebody else. So these products aren't even the first of their kind. They are the second of their kind. They're copying it. They're ripping someone off, and they're doing a much worse job.
How much is Rode? How much is Rode getting ripped off?
Yeah.
I was sent a product very similar to the Rode Wireless Go. I don't know if the Rode Wireless Go 2. I don't know if the Rode Wireless Go also had in-transmitter recording.
No.
Right. Okay. So the Rode Wireless 2, the most important thing about it was that the transmitters that transmitted to a receiver that was plugged into your camera or an audio recorder, it actually records in the transmitter as well. So if you have any drop spots, if you have anything, or you just can't be bothered, it's actually recording right there. So then you can load it in. There was a company that sent me the exact same thing. I think it was about a month after Rode dropped that. And it did the exact same thing as the Rode, but it didn't because it didn't deliver. And the amount of people who are buying these things, and it's still in the same ballpark of price, but you think, oh, okay, well, I'm saving 20, 30 quid. Nah, it doesn't work like that because it's rubbish. I didn't realize there was going to be such a soapbox tonight, but there really is, isn't there? It's turning into anger.
I've got the Hollyland Lark 150 sat over there, which is a direct competitor of the Rode Wireless Go 2. It came out about a month afterwards. I don't have massively high expectations for it. I've not used it yet, but I will report back when I have. And I will, in the video I make about it, I'm going to be comparing it directly to the Rode Wireless Go 2 because that's the standard. That's the one. And everyone is ripping them off. And they are a massive company. So they're the first guys. They're the ones who did it first, and they've done it the best since then. But it's still not very fair.
It's funny, actually, because you and I both then have audio videos coming up because I found... I asked you, I know we need to go, we're kind of running late, but I asked you when I was getting the Wireless Go 2s, how does the Rode lavalier mic work with it? And you said you couldn't work it with the Rode 1. You hadn't tried it with the Rode 2. I think they fixed that in the firmware. With the Rode 2, works really, really well. Works really, really nice.
Really well.
Really, really well. Is that my first one of the stream, is it?
I don't know. I think so.
It works so well, but it's £60. Now, that's not that expensive for a lavalier if it's a phantom powered and it's a proper capsule mic. But this is just a small jack plugging into a transmitter, and it's 60 quid. I found a lavalier mic for a third of that price that works almost exactly the same. The only thing different is that it rejects ever so slightly a little bit less ambient audio, and it's for 20 quid. Coming up on Musing of a Man.
Cool. Right, I think we should call it a night because I need a wee.
Pleasure.
As per usual.
Always. Chris has 2 beers and that's it. He's gone. Imagine going to a pub with him.
Of a toddler.
Imagine going into a pub with him. You'd literally be, after the first hour, you'd be sat there on your own at least 20 minutes in an hour, every hour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If I have 3 or 4 ciders, that's it. I just walk to the toilet and I walk back again. And then I walk to the toilet and I walk back again. That's it. Bye, everybody.
Pleasure, mate. See you next week.
Brilliant. Bye.
Bye.